Tip your hat and just hand them the trophies at the end. LeBron said this Nuggets team probably the best team he's faced since he joined the Lakers. I thought it was especially interesting to hear the Nuggets because they've kept this mantra about they're not here to get to the finals.
Right.
They're here to win a championship, and that continued last night, even with all the excitement. And Nikola Jokic afterwards, when asked about the MVP, went out of his way to explain that he thought Joel Embiid was a perfectly good choice to be the MVP and was so gracious in victory, which can be hard for some people.
Yes. Sometimes that whole victory catches up with you and you lose a little bit of that humble factor, but never with him.
Yeah, LeBron,
always
very gracious in defeat as well, but ESPN is still going to cover him instead of the Nuggets.
What's he going to have for lunch tomorrow?
Whether or not
what
he's
going to do there?
Yeah,
exactly.
A lot of that. So now the long wait begins for the finals to get underway. You know the calendar, 9 days until they play again. The NBA Finals already locked in. It's going to start on Thursday, June 1st. Long time to wait. We might not have to wait too long to find out who they're playing, though. The Miami Heat take on the Celtics tonight down in Miami, with the Heat leading that series 3-0. As we told you, with the Nuggets up 3-0, no team's ever come back from that sort of deficit, so it's likely it'll be the Nuggets and Heat in the finals. If that's the case, the Nuggets have home court advantage. They'll be hosting games 1 and 2 at Ball Arena June 1st and 4th. Should the Celtics be that first team to pull off a miracle, they would have home court advantage, meaning games 1 and 2 would instead be in Boston. Games 3 and 4, as you see on the 7th and 9th, would then be the games here in Denver.
Nuggets fans were able to snag some NBA Finals merchandise this morning. This is the first time they've ever been able to do that.
Yeah, 9 News reporter Jaleesa Irizarry tells us one longtime merchandise shop owner made a little history of his own.
There are so many ways to describe Monday night's victory. Historic has a nice ring to it.
You don't need a shirt? Go with it? Get them now before they're gone.
On Tuesday morning, the employees at SportsFan went to work.
Your total is going to be $109.89.
Cashing in on the business's biggest bet. Because when opportunity called,
we have the hats and the tees.
Derek Friedman answered.
Not within an hour, but probably by the end of the day.
Honestly, I never thought the Nuggets would beat the Lakers in a playoff series in my lifetime.
When everyone doubted Denver, SportsFan shop owner Derek Friedman
absolutely
took the odds, placing his order for finals merchandise before the games began. A risk he didn't even take for the Avs last year.
We knew we had so much confidence.
And how sweet it is to sweep.
You know, this is the first time that the Nuggets have ever swept, and so obviously you got to get the brooms out, especially since it's the Lakers, and say goodbye to LeBron and say hello to the finals.
All right.
For the first time ever, Nuggets fans will get a feel for the finals.
I'm looking for, let's see, probably a medium.
And those that bought early do it confidently.
We are going to win. We are going to be NBA champions for the first time ever.
And the whole narrative from all of the national pundits was, you know, it's all about the Lakers, nothing about the Nuggets. And to quote a very wise man with the last name Malone, they could put that in their pipe and smoke it.
Not much more needs to be said about this basketball team's run.
Go Nuggets.
But as history unfolds,
You got fitted hats?
so will the payout.
There you are.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
Friedman says because the Nuggets won the Western Conference Finals, his employees will be getting a bonus. He's also already pre-ordered Finals championship gear. Tom, he did that before the playoffs even started.
Well, the Nuggets have been the choice of many this year to win the championship, so it's a bit of a gamble, of course, but one many have taken.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I think if you look at it nationally, a lot of people have been counting the Nuggets out quietly. They don't really pay attention to us, right? But if you talk about hometown here, we have a lot of faith in our Nuggets.
People love to get that merchandise. I got to be honest, though, the hats and the shirts we saw the Nuggets wearing last night that they were selling today, not my favorites.
But hey, it's authentic in the sense that that's what they're wearing in the locker room as they're celebrating this win. So that's the memory that they hold on to with that.
I get it. All right. Thanks, Jaleesa.
You're a fashionista, huh?
That's me. I'm a style guy.
How about this? Is this your style? This is not my style.
No, I like it when we can see the mountains and stuff.
Or something.
There you see, of course, the field. They're building the new scoreboard. That's where the Broncos play.
You can't even distinguish that.
It's not great. It's not great. The smoke outside. Let's get over to Kathy, talk more about it. It sounds like it may not be around too much longer, though.
I know, and I know you're sad about that, Tom.
I'm ready to move it out. Send it somewhere.
I want to talk to Mr. Friedman and Jaleesa's story because it sounds like he's really good at predicting the future. So maybe he could help me a little bit with, some of the prognosticating that we do in the Weather Center.
You guys should help each other, yeah.
What a great call he made last night. And you know what? We see a major shift in the weather pattern coming, which will bring not only some beneficial moisture to the area after a little bit of a break, but also a wind shift, which will scour out some of this bad air. Smoke and haze settling in not just to Denver, but the entire Front Range all the way down into Texas, New Mexico. The northerly winds driving that Canadian wildfire smoke in, and it's settling in. Air quality alerts, they're expiring, they're reinstated, kind of waiting to see what's going to happen with that. But as long as you have winds out of the east pushing those particulates back up against the foothills, we'll be dealing with the smoke and haze. The worst of it is to the north of us, and where you see the darker shaded blue areas, that's where we're seeing the thickest smoke bands. But watch what happens tomorrow night into Thursday. A wind shift pushes a lot of that smoke and haze away from the area. So by Thursday, huge improvement. I think you're going to be pretty happy about that. 80 in downtown Denver today, 75 out at the airport where we sit now. Just enough moisture that with heating of the day, we're tracking a couple of hit and miss thunderstorms over elevated terrain. Denver stays dry tonight, but not tomorrow. Storms make a comeback tomorrow. Some of them could be strong, and temperatures will continue to be quite warm for the remainder of the week. But this time tomorrow night, we might be talking about a little bit of wind and hail. Dry evening now, 70s all the way through the dinner hour, and coming up in Maine weather, a hazy, warm and dry evening. The forecast for that Canadian wildfire smoke and when it's out of here. And we're going to talk about the storm forecast for Wednesday and for Thursday and for Friday.
It was so shocking and so wrong. And I hope to God this just saves someone else.
Christian Glass's parents say the biggest police misconduct case in Colorado history helps them do what they've been trying to do all along: clear their son's name. Christian Glass called 911 when he got his car stuck in Silver Plume. A Clear Creek County deputy shot and killed him a short time later.
Today, Clear Creek County, the state, and 2 other police agencies settled with the Glass family for $19 million and a long list of promised changes. 9 News reporter Steve Steger first showed us the body camera video of the call that got national attention, and he was first to talk to the family about this historic settlement.
It certainly is. It's large. Not only will Clear Creek County, Georgetown, Idaho Springs, and the state of Colorado pay the Glass family, they have also made statements apologizing for the incident and promised huge changes when it comes to handling mental health and policing. Christian was in the midst of a mental health crisis when he refused to get out of his car after calling 911 for help. The deputy who broke his window and tased and shot him and killed him, he's awaiting trial for second-degree murder. In this settlement, Clear Creek County has promised to have a crisis response team by the beginning of 2025. The state police will train on de-escalation using a virtual reality simulation of Christian's call. And Christian's parents will get the chance to speak to new recruits inside the Clear Creek County Sheriff's Office. Headline is obviously the $19 million. It's one of the largest police settlements in U.S. history and the biggest in Colorado. Christian's parents want to use it to serve their son's memory.
Christian's been given this money because he was murdered. So this is blood money. We will try and turn it into good money by doing good things with it and setting up a foundation in our son's name.
This is a vindication of Christian, and that's what we've been looking for quite a long time.
So you'll remember the initial press release about this shooting painted Christian as the aggressor here, which body camera video later showed wasn't true. That's why that vindication is so important to his parents. And he will get more of that recognition as the governor will declare Christian Glass Day in Colorado at a celebration of life tomorrow. They'll also dedicate some of Christian's artwork as part of the settlement, which requires his artwork to hang in state buildings. We will have much more of our conversation with Sally and Simon Glass coming up at 5 o'clock, including what they think about the apology from the Clear Creek County Sheriff's Office, which is one of the first statements they've received personally about this case. Not too happy, really, about how that was handled.
Steve, as you alluded to, the body camera video changes everything as far as the story that was initially told about this incident. That and the state now promising to teach de-escalation. Is this behind? Should this have been something that should have already been in motion with what we've seen over the last several years?
If you ask the Glasses that question, they would say obviously yes. They'll also say that they wouldn't be here today had it not been for the people before them. Shanine McLean, Elijah McLean's mom, who fought so hard for reform, got the law changed that now allows this body camera video to be released. They wouldn't have been here. They wouldn't have known what happened in this case had they not hired an attorney, saw that video, and then were able to tell it to the world.
Well, you were the first to talk to them, and you formed such a good relationship with them, and we thank you for that because they're incredible people. They are incredible people, heartbroken, but wonderful people.
So strong. You'll notice that they wear pink every time we see them, and it's because it was Christian's favorite color. They wear it to every court hearing they attend. They're just incredibly strong parents who just want justice, and they don't want to see this happen to anyone else.
Thank you, Steve. Hanging Lake Trail is currently closed due to the heavy spring runoff that has water flowing directly down parts of the popular trail. The Forest Service closed the trail on Sunday, and they hope to have it back open a week from Saturday on June the 3rd. The agency canceled and refunded all reservations through June 2nd. Last week, improvements were announced to better accommodate water flows in the trail. Those are set to start up in the fall.
Got a little extra pep in your step? Yeah, the Nuggets have lifted the spirits of many Coloradans. Turns out when the team you root for wins, your health actually does reap the benefit.